right. Now can you hear me? Can the recording people be recording? Yes? No? You can't hear me. You can't. So you're going to make me talk through this thing. I wonder if there's any way. Yeah. I'm going to walk around with this. Maybe. Maybe not. Nope, I guess I'm not. So they've got me nailed down. It's a cultural thing. Welcome to your own longhouse. On behalf of you, welcome to here. Thank you, Paulette. I've known Paulette probably as long as Greg has. I've known Greg for a long time, since he arrived in Eugene. My name is James Florendo. I'm the son of James Florendo, the son of Alice Switzler, the grandson of Juana and Santiago Florendo, and the grandson of Sophie and Jasper Switzler, Sophie Sidwaller. Okay. The Florendo part's Filipino, Hawaiian, Polynesian, and Chinese. The Switzler side, guess what? German, but also Wasco. My people are from, and I am from, the villages of White Salmon and Wishram, which are on the Columbia River near Celilo Falls. This is the way that we introduce ourselves with our people, so that when you come in here, you know who I am. It's a little bit like your PhDs, MAs, MBAs, whatever you want to call it. It's my certification from my people to say this is where I'm from and this is what makes me valid. Not necessarily for you, but for me. And we're talking about storytelling. I teach storytelling here, but it's not really what you would think storytelling being taught would be. I don't analyze stories. We don't read different stories and discuss what they are. What I do is, I feel so nailed down here. Storytellers are performers in the Native community. They're teachers in the Native community. Within our stories, our history, just like I told you when I introduced myself, our stories include our heritage, our family lineage.
By popular request.
Jeez. Hey. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to move around. I just do. It's just how I feel comfortable when I teach my class. This is a little difficult for me. I'd really like to just walk around in here, but if I walk down here and I start talking, introducing myself and telling you what everything's about, all those poor people up there can't see squat. Okay? And again, that's a cultural thing. My classes are not taught like this. I don't have my students looking at the back of people's heads. They're looking at each other. Stories that they create or they learn in my story, again, I teach storytelling, but what it's about, it's called the art of teaching and learning in the oral tradition. What makes that different from other stories? Oh, gee, they're oral. They're not written. What makes that important? Well, think about it. If you don't have paper, you don't have pens, you don't have computers, you can't record everything that you say. You have to remember it. You have to stay attached to your memory. You have to know, like I introduced myself, who I am, what my lineage is, what I do. I came to the University of Oregon back in 1968 and never went back to Warm Springs, where I came from. A lot of reasons for that. A lot of them I didn't understand. I was expected to be here. I thought long and hard last night about what I was going to say, what I was going to do. because I got a call about 8:30 going, "You're going on at 9:15, not 1 o'clock." And I went, "Oh, gosh. I wanted to come hear Leanne Bell. I wanted to hear what she had to say." Had a conversation with Jim Garcia, who asked me to do this, and Donna. Thank you for the honor, by the way. But she has different stories that she's going to be talking about, different forms of stories for you to be considering. And I'll let her talk about that because I don't remember what they are. But I did read the article, and Jim graciously explained a lot of it to me. But I'm me, and this is about stories in a Native American sense. Now, I don't represent all Native people. You know, it's the first caveat any Native makes when he gets up and speaks. I don't speak for all the people. I only speak for myself, which is partially true. I do only speak from my perspective, but I have the responsibility of speaking for all Native folk. They put me here. Again, like I was saying, my mother, my tribe, my family, my brothers, my sisters, my grandmother, my aunties, they all said I was going to do this. They told me when I was this big that I was going to lead people. Cracked me up. You know, I thought, yeah, right, I'm going to go play in the hills. See you later. No, you're not going to go play in the hills. You're going to tend the garden. You're going to weed it. You're going to water it. You're going to mow the lawn. You're going to trim the trees. You're going to trim the berries. You're going to go to school. And you're going to do better than the white people you're sitting next to. Why? That's not fair. It's not about fair. It's about life. Well, it doesn't seem very equitable. It's not equitable. Never will be. Nothing is equal. Had a conversation yesterday, as a matter of fact, with one of my colleagues I'm just meeting. We were talking about gender roles. And she was talking about, you know, how women's viewpoint is often ignored or trod over or dismissed by the controlling factor in our society, white males. And I said, yeah, I sort of agree with that. She goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, in my culture, women are women, men are men. Women do things men can't do, primary of which is give birth. Men do things that women can't do. And it's not a competitive thing. It's a respectful honoring of what each can do. An acknowledgement that you have something that I don't have and that I can't get it from you. You need to share it with me. If you don't share it with me, we are not complete as a community or as a race, as a people. Sort of like predator and prey. There will always be predators, there will always be prey. There's no right or wrong to either one of them. It just is. Predator eats too much prey, they die from starvation. The prey doesn't get eaten enough, they overfeed themselves. They overpopulate themselves, they die. Same thing. Nature has a way of balancing things on its own, and that's what I told her. That's what I believe in. I believe in balance. I don't believe in equity, because I was told it was never going to be that way. That I did have to go to school. I did have to do twice as good as the white kids next to me. I was told that I had to do exactly what the instructor said. I said, but I don't believe that. This is a creative writing class. I'm trying to be creative, and she's telling me to write like Ernest Hemingway. What's creative about that? I'm not Ernest Hemingway. Got a C in the class because I wouldn't do that. Went home, told my mom, hey, what's up with that? It's supposed to be creative writing. It's not creative writing. I said, no, you go back and you do what she said. And you remember from now on, you do what they tell you. You do it better than they tell you. You say what they want you to say. And then you say what you want. It's how I've survived here. It's how I've gotten here. There's a lot of things in this world and in this place here that I don't really agree with. Even the diversity committee that they graciously put me in the program as being a part of, I told them, you know, I'm not too sure I understand the concept that you're going with. I'm not too sure I believe in the commitment of this institution to diversity. I've been battling it since I've been here. And not that it's not diverse, it is. We have all kinds of people here. We have all kinds of ideas. We have all kinds of notions and input and possibilities at this institution. But everyone kind of fragments out. Administrators, faculty, support staff. We are what we are. We do what we do. They get more benefits. Well, they get more pay. They get time off. The union says this, the union says that. And I just went, oh man, I think you're all forgetting something really big here that comes from our stories. Yeah, our stories are based on learning, teaching, but more importantly, they're for a community, a tribe. I make my class a tribe. I tell them, for this term, for these 10 weeks, you're responsible for each other. You can cheat in my class. You can copy off of one another. If you could copy, you can't write in my class. It's oral. But you can talk together. You can work together. Because in my mind, if you all succeed and you all help each other to get the best grade possible, you all are going to excel. It's not about you competing with you for a better grade than you. To say that your knowledge, based on what I told you, you grasped it better than she does and better than he does. No, you all sit there and assess, geez, like my students, what the bleep is he talking about? What is he doing? Why are we sitting in a circle? Why do I have to look at people across from me? It makes me nervous. It's because you don't know them. We're still in the second week of classes here, and we're still in a process where it's very important for me, and in my class, that my students know each other. They know each other's names. They know each other's background. I make them talk to each other. What they're majoring in, where they come from, talk about it. And in a storytelling class, we're having fun because I'm making them do it in mine. Okay. You get a lot of that. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Well, let's learn some language. So I start showing, this is what you do. You don't play with what you're doing, because sooner or later, as a as a storyteller or a, I can't even think of the word right now, I'm really stuck. Performer, okay? You're gonna hang yourself, okay? Goofing around, hitting the mic. People can't hear you, okay? Getting nervous, walking around with your hands in your pocket. It's wonderful to watch these kids be that way, and at the end of the term, they're doing this. Walking around, they're engaging people, they're looking them in the eye, they're making, hey, here we are. I know you, and I don't know you. Why don't I know you? Why haven't we met? Oh, I know you. I know you too. There's a native guy. Ah, there's someone from the money givers. foundation, okay? And I've been taught here that, yeah, with all these people, you kind of, all right, you engage with them at different levels, usually their level, okay? For a lot of people of color, all our lives we've had to do that. Every day when you wake up, every person you look at, whether it's a bus driver or a colleague or a student, if they're not like you, which in this case, I guess I saw one Native gentleman back there, all right? There aren't many people like you. I was given a statistic quite a while back that said Natives make up 0.75% of the total population of the U.S. Yeah, things will never be equitable, never be even. It's far from that. It's one of the largest genocidal movements that's never talked about. And I say movements because it's still happening. You know, it's a mistake to think that it has stopped. When people stop looking at me and talking about me and my culture and my race as history or being romantic, then it still exists. What am I here? Why did I concede to do this? I thought about it last night. Like I said, I was up kind of late thinking about it. Dang. Mom was right. Here I am. Am I going to lead? Am I going to stand back, not participate? Am I not going to be responsible? Or am I going to be open with you and share with you things like what Paulette says, things that you're going to hear from the other storytellers? Okay, this is a form of a story, but it's not a formal story. It's my chance to educate. Because I believe the reason that we're doing this, diversity, strategic directions. What kind of direction are we going to take? Is it going to be one where we look forward, move forward, try and do things in a, I don't know whether it's different, new? I really don't. I don't look there. I'm not trained to look there. I look here. Because for a lot of people like me in the culture and the community that I come from, this is all you have. You don't look to the future when someone else is gauging that future for you, trying to tell you that's what you need to succeed, that your way of life is a historical one. Your way of life is, oh my, very romantic. But it's not very real. 95% of my family still lives in poverty. My family, not my tribe, not my people, not Native American people, my family. I used to say my aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews, mother, dad, grandma, no more. Now it's my son, my daughter, my brother, my sister, my nieces, my nephews. This past summer, I had a forced epiphany. My last auntie died. My mom's last sister. The last living one from my mother's generation is gone. That meant I could call no one again. There was nobody I could get validation from again. There was nobody I could ask about my questions of, whoa, what's up with this place? Can you tell me? Can you help me? No, can't do that anymore. Someone said something? I heard something over there. Now it's all on me. I'm the oldest male in my family. Makes me the eldest, not an elder. I am not an elder. I don't believe so. I know in our traditions what an elder does, what they do. And that was part of my epiphany. Dang, all the elders in my family I can't talk to anymore. But they're there. They're here. Some of you may see me walking around here when we were setting up with some sage. Some of you even partook that wanted to. So I greeted and welcomed and thanked our brothers and sisters that are surrounding you. It's the other thing about the native world. It isn't just you and me. It isn't just human beings. There are plants outside. Really cool thing that happened here. First year I was out in the back, kind of working in the fire pit. We're supposed to be breaking it in, burning. And saw osprey fly over. And then walked around the longhouse and I saw hummingbirds flitting around in the bushes. We even had a killdeer lay a nest out in our storytelling circle. That told me that my brothers and sisters were welcome. They felt welcome. They felt that they were a part of the life of this building. Just as you, I hope, when you walked in here, got a different sense of what this campus is. It isn't all the concrete. It's not all bond measures. It's what I love about this building. You guys paid for it, students paid for it, tribes paid for it. Everybody contributed to this. It took a long time to build it, but it was well worth it. Not just the structure, but the fact that everybody wanted it. Everybody put their energy and their heart into it, and I'm really glad you're here using it. Because this isn't for natives. Specifically, it's called the Lane Community College Longhouse. It's your longhouse. I work for you and with you to maintain it as a longhouse. I'm merely here to remind you that, yeah, maybe we can't go that far in stretching the boundaries and still have a little respect for our brothers and sisters and everything that's going around outside here and in here. But why? Well, just like in my storytelling class, it's taught in a different way. It's taught from a different perspective. And do I ask people to be native? You need to change to my way because your way sucks. It's killing everything. Barely breathe the air. Water's radiated and polluted. I don't really believe there's anything organic anymore. When you talk about acid rain and all the pollution that's in the rain, and the rain's in the water cycle, and the water cycle's in the ground, and the ground comes up in the plants, and we eat the plants, and we drink the water. Yeah. We shouldn't be very proud of what we've done. But does that mean that we should stop? Or that we should quit? No. In the Native community, our stories are shared, that history is shared, all that tradition, all that lore, all those things, laws and lineage, all that stuff is shared for one thing: survival. As Native people, that's always your key: survival. You got to go on. And you got to go on, and your decisions have to be made so that 7 generations down the line, it's going to go on. And it's not about whether or not I'm going to have a PhD or drive a Rolls Royce or Toyota or eco car or whatever you want, whatever the new thing is that we all should be doing. You know, it should be about survival. And our stories really should come from you about this place. But what is our community? That's what I thought long and hard about. Geez, here's the responsible part. Have an opinion and opine it. I think we're all educators. I think that's our purpose here. Every one of us, whether we're behind a desk, whether we're packing chairs, whether we're bringing coffee to an event, whether we're in front of the class, or we have wonderful leaders who are directing and fighting our battles so that we can stay open and be what we're going to be. We are all educators. Not support staff, not faculty, not unions, not all this garbage. We're educators. Our story should be about what we're doing to do that. Now, when we talk about diversity here, a lot of it has been based on the inequities. Paulette talked a little bit about inequities that a lot of us undergo. But I already told you my notion on inequities. I don't ever think it's going to be fair. I don't think it should be. Life would be really boring if we were all the same. Ecosystems do not have creatures and things that are all the same. There's a great biodiversity to make an ecosystem work. And every one of those little things has to be there, whether it's an earthworm, an amoeba, an eagle, or me, or these trees, or the grass, or the concrete, or the pavement, or that car sitting out there that's burning all this oil. Those are all things we have created. They are all things of this earth. Like it or not. We did it. Plastic comes from oil. Oil came from dinosaurs that died a long time ago. Still a part of the earth. So whether it's a computer, microphone, technology, we can't separate ourselves from it. And I think it's a mistake to think that you can, or that you think it's a bad thing. I do believe there can be some balance in how much of technology we use, and probably more importantly, how we use it. The same things that we're using now to make profit for a lot of 1%ers. Okay? That same technology could share healing, could share spiritual wealth, could share medicinal remedies, share ways to learn how to plant, how to survive. Okay? Mary's given an awful lot of talks that I've gone to about our survival here, and how much of it a challenge it is to all of you, all of us, to survive here. And, you know, personally, like I said, this is an honor for me. It's an honor for me to even be in this institution, for me to stand in front of you. It's kind of scary. The responsibility to have an opinion, to voice it, and hope there isn't any negative repercussion from it. But even if there is, there is. I don't expect you all to agree with me. Jeez. Probably some of you are going, what is he rambling about anyway? You're still waking up. Well, me too. I wasn't supposed to be on until 1. And really, I wanted to base my talk off of what Leanne Bell was going to talk about. because I did read what her stories are about, and I do really encourage you to listen. Listen. Oral traditions. Listen to what she has to say. Listen to the words that Paulette has to say. You know, where am I from? Oregon. What's my mother's name? Last name, Florendo. What's the name of the villages that I came from? Okay. Can you answer these simple questions that I'm in your own mind? Sonia, hi Sonia. What falls did I grow up near? Okay, that's good when someone remembered that. Oral tradition. You'd all be failing my class big time. They have to do this. They have to do it every day, every time they step into the classroom. Every time they try and tell the story, they're being evaluated. Because they need to hit the story verbatim, word for word. Now they can choose to express it how they want to express it. They can be happy, they can be sad. They can do a lot of things. But the story has to be the same, word for word. And again, why is that important? Does anyone remember who I am? Yeah, but I know you know me. Okay. I think I should probably be running close to the end of my time. She's here? Oh, good. So I can step back and I can listen. I do have a proposal to put out to you that the committee asked me to suggest, because this is a process. Storytelling is a process. Remembering is a process. Creating stories and telling them is all a process. And if there's anyone here interested in developing stories about Lane, about our community, and the things that we should be doing to make our community survive, okay? Because that's where I'm going. Survival, I'm always going to be right there. It's the only place I'm ever going to be. That they've asked me to teach a class to you all, if you're interested. It'll be done like this, only you'll be sitting in a circle. All right, you're going to learn about each other. You're going to hear your own stories. You're going to get to know people in your community. You're going to get to remember where they're from, what their names are, you know, what they do, all these things in relation to this institution. That's our community. It's our tribe that we're going to create our stories about. Be they hard stories, difficult stories, joyful stories, creative stories, stories of success, stories of difficulty, stories of our students, stories of our peers. And we could do it like Paulette. I was wondering how I was going to follow her because, oh man, geez, I'm behind her. Oh no, Paulette, go easy on me, make it easy. She talked about Eagle. Okay? But Eagle was somebody. Okay? It's a characterization of somebody. And when we write stories, and in this class, that's what we'll do, is create stories about our place, about our successes, about our difficulties. And we can project, if we're not comfortable being human beings in our stories, we can become eagles and coyotes and rabbits and chipmunks and whatever characters you want to be. But you will write the stories. You will tell the stories. Because ideally, in the end, that's what you're going to do. They want me to do this. Maybe we'll rent the Performing Arts Center, or maybe we'll have it here. Because ultimately, in developing the stories and talking about the stories of your community, storytelling is just that. You have to tell the story. You need to listen to one another. Remember where I'm from. Remember what I do. Just like I will have to with you. And in that storytelling and in developing those stories, maybe we can move forward in our survival. Maybe our survival can be a little easier. And if it's not easier, at least it can be done as a community where faculty recognizes support staff classified, respects and understands administration, where administration is making their decisions based on the hard work that you all do, we all do, and I know they do. This place is really blessed. It really is blessed. You have this. There aren't many campuses that have anything like this, or even want anything like this. I thank you all for wanting this. I thank you all for recognizing that there is another way to look at the world. And I thank you all for letting me share what I've shared with you.